favorite stories is it's called the rice cake story.
I mean,
So
I
my
like the sound of it already.
so my youngest daughter, she was in the car. I had picked her up from preschool, and I had my middle daughter sitting next to me, and she was brought them a snack, and she wanted a rice cake, and I had one rice cake, so I broke it in half, and I gave them each a piece. Well, she flipped, right? Because she wanted a whole rice cake. She was
How
she was like
could you?
she was like 3 years old, right? So I'm like, okay, I've got this parenting thing down. I'm a teacher, I'm going to use all my tools. So I'm like, oh, look at how Nora, the older one, look how she understands that mommy only has one rice cake. That's so good. So I do the praising of the desired behavior. Nope. Now she's behind me and I'm driving, kicking at the seat. And I'm like, okay, sweetie, if you do that when mommy's driving, it could be dangerous. So let's be safe and you'll get a full rice cake when you get home or whatever. Still goes on and on and on. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose it. So I pull the car over because it was getting dangerous. And I could feel again, my head, that emoji where the head
Mm.
blows off. Well, that was me. I was like, and again, I don't normally get angry. So, I mean, in a way that's kind of nice because then I recognize when I am that emoji, okay, something's gone terribly off. I am triggered now. I'm really triggered. So I take her out of the car, I put her down on the side and I'm breathing and I'm like, okay, what in the world am I supposed to do with this child? She's still crying and screaming about that broken rice cake, right? And I really had to just turn for a second and just breathe and just say, okay, obviously, everything I've done isn't working. What is the opposite of what I feel like doing? Okay, the opposite of what I feel like doing would be giving her a hug right now. And then I was like,
Wow.
okay, I'm going to try. So I just looked at her and I didn't say I said it from my heart. It was genuine. I said, "Do you need a hug?" And she just opened her arms,
Mm.
burst out. Now everything came out. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is working." And I picked her up
Love
and
it.
held her in my arms. And that was it. She got in the car and there was no more about the rice cake. And actually, as I drove home, I'm like, this is amazing. And then I said to her later, I'm like, you know how that worked before when you felt really frustrated and then I gave you a hug and it made everything go away? Can we remember that again? Because I really like that.
That's a
And
great
honestly,
one.
I have to say, she was 3 years old. And from that day on, we used that. She would look at me, she would start recognizing her trigger and look at me and say, I need a hug. And
Beautiful.
my kids are grown
Wow.
up now and they will still look at me and say, Mommy, I need a hug. And that is so powerful. And I always tell parents, if you just think, if you could say that to your spouse, how wonderful that would be. When,
It's true. It's true
right?
because we play all these games. We feel that other people should know what we feel. And I just want to take that beautiful moment, as you said, because you said something very key. You went against what you wanted to do. What you
Mhm.
wanted to do was flip out, say enough, like I'm done, like stop and stop this nonsense, like the kind of logical side of you. But
That's right.
if you go against that, and sometimes that's a good methodology, what is it I really want to do now? I want to lash out. What is the opposite of that? Holding the child and being there for them. Trust me, it works. I've done it many times as well when I've been trying to deal with a situation with more than one child, and the one of the children especially is giving a lot of inconvenient behavior, and you just think, you just want to say, okay, I'm going to exclude them. I'm going to do that. Actually, no, they need to be included more than ever now. They need to
Absolutely.
feel like they have even more. They need to be seen, heard, and understood even more than ever now, because they're feeling a feeling they don't know how to deal with. That's where we misconceive that the situation that they know what they're doing. They don't. They're just a ball of feelings. And by hugging them, you're not saying it's okay to behave like this, because obviously your child doesn't continue doing and having tantrums, which is another misconception. It's saying, I know that feeling is hard. I'm here for you when you feel it.
I'm
and it's
here,
okay
yeah.
to feel it. And we can also express it in different ways through a hug. Through, as you said, she even started regulating herself, saying, I need a hug now. So she now
Yeah,
understands
that was so
it's not
amazing.
about kicking the chair. I need to hug. So that was
That's
beautiful.
right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Maureen, tell me,